James Gunn Superman is the worst movie that's ever been made.
The backlash against this film for allegedly being, quote, woke has been frustrating, to say the least. Grifters have seized upon the film's portrayal of Superman as an immigrant, framing this as some kind of modern political insertion into the character. This is either a profound misunderstanding of Superman's core identity or a deliberate attempt to weaponize cultural anxiety for personal gain. Superman is, by the most literal definition possible, an immigrant. He was born on the planet Krypton, arrived on Earth as a refugee fleeing the destruction of his homeworld. The Kents found him, took him in, and raised him as their own. A story that mirrors countless real-world immigration experiences. To suggest that simply acknowledging this basic plot point is somehow quote-unquote woke is baffling. The character of Superman was created in 1938 by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, two Jewish-American sons of immigrants who understood displacement and the search for belonging. From his very inception, Superman embodied the immigrant experience, the challenge of fitting in while maintaining one's unique identity, and the responsibility that comes with being given a second chance in a new land. These themes aren't contemporary political statements, they're simply the bedrock of Superman's mythology. What makes the current backlash particularly disingenuous is that it targets a film that presents Superman in his most comic accurate form, traditionally heroic. This isn't a deconstruction or a reimagining. It's a straightforward portrayal of Superman as a beacon of hope, kindness, and moral clarity. The very qualities that critics claim to want in their heroes are present in abundance, yet they're overshadowed by manufactured controversy over basic, factual accuracy about the character's origins. The grifters leading this charge know exactly what they're doing. They've identified a profitable model. They've taken the film, scanned it for elements that can be framed as progressive, and then generated outrage among audiences wired to see political messaging everywhere. It doesn't matter if the woke element they've identified is simply accurate to the source material or represents values that have always been central to the character. The goal isn't coherent criticism, it's engagement, clicks, and money. We've reached a point where acknowledging basic truths about fictional characters becomes controversial if those truths can be connected to contemporary political debates. Superman's status as an immigrant isn't a modern retcon or a political statement. It's the premise of his entire existence. To refuse this fundamental aspect of his character is to refuse Superman himself. No one tell these guys that X-Men is about segregation. The real tragedy is that this manufactured outrage obscures what should be a celebration, a Superman film that returns to the character's roots as a symbol of hope and moral clarity. In an era of increasingly complex and morally ambiguous heroes, a straightforward portrayal of Superman as fundamentally good should be welcomed, not attacked. Instead, we're treated to bad faith arguments over genuine engagement with the movie itself. Superman has always been political, but not in the narrow partisan sense that modern grifters would have us believe. He's political in the way that kindness is political, in the way that standing up for the vulnerable is political, in the way that believing in the possibility of a better world is political. These aren't left or right positions, they're human positions, and they're precisely what makes Superman a character worth caring about. The current backlash against Superman's immigrant status reveals more about the critics than the film. It shows a willingness to abandon intellectual honesty in service of cultural warfare and money, and to reject even the most basic facts when they become inconvenient to a preferred narrative. In doing so, these critics don't just misunderstand Superman, they embody everything he stands against. Anyways, I'm glad to announce that the movie is doing well so far. It had a strong opening weekend, earning $125 million at the box office and making it the third biggest opening weekend of 2025 as reported by Variety Deadline. It received an A- cinema score from audiences and has been getting positive reviews, with some calling it the Superman we could all use right now. And I plan on going to see it again with my little brother and niece. By the way, I'm a huge fan of the Snyder Superman.
You need to leave!
But this movie was undeniably good. Anyways, that's all for this video. Please consider liking and subscribing to support my series. Movies have always been woke.
Be an undocumented worker. Have you seen anyone?
I just got home. What?
It's seems like an awful lot of trouble just to catch one person.
Well, not if he's in the country illegally. Do you mind if I look at the bar?
No, go ahead.
Do you really have to search our property?
Clark, it's fine. You haven't had to hide.
You know, this kid isn't hurting anyone. Why not just let him be?
Just doing my job. If you want to get into the country, you need to do it the legal way. Like my parents did.
I told Javier he'd be safe here, and I meant
I want to help this boy as much as you do, but I took an oath to uphold the law.
all he's trying to do is find his mom.
I know, but we have to go through the proper legal channels.
Was it legal when you forged my adoption papers? I'm an illegal immigrant, Mom. You've been harboring me for over 17 years.
Your situation was entirely different. We had to protect you.
I need to protect Javier. If I don't defend him, who will?